So, got Madman Pondo today. I've been waiting to talk to you for quite some time, and our schedules never worked out.
No, it's not that the schedules didn't work out. You always wanted me to Zoom, and I'm not no technical guy, so I don't know how to do that shit. But now I don't have to worry about it. I'm in the same room with you.
Yeah. No, I mean, I wanted to do face-to-face, but I ordered this equipment I actually ordered this in 2019, and it didn't come in up until late. And it happened to be around the same time that the world shut down.
Fucking COVID.
So I couldn't.
That's it. Fucking COVID. That's all you can blame all this shit on.
Yeah. And I mean, it's affected everything because you were wrestling all the time, and now you said you were doing something tomorrow with GC.
I am. 24-hour show. Madman Pondo is going to be in the Guinness Book of World Records for being on a 24-hour show.
That's awesome.
So, fuck the payday, fuck the matches. I'm going in the Guinness Book of World Records.
That's awesome. Hey, you're always into weird shit like that, and I don't mean weird to like.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
A movie with Robert Englund, 2 video games, did a speech in between the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial. I mean, who look at me.
Yeah.
Who would think that I'd be the guy doing all that shit? I mean, think about that.
That's pretty sick, to be honest. So, you've been wrestling since the 80s, correct?
June 24th, 1989 was my first match.
And that was with USWA?
With the Avalanche in Albion, Illinois, for a guy named Bud Chapman, rest in peace, good guy. But later on, the Avalanche became Melvin Penrod Jr., one half of the USWA Tag Team Champions with, he was a straight-A student, Melvin Penrod Jr., with, I think, C.W. Bergstrom was the guy's name.
Mm-hmm. No, I thought you were continuing.
What else?
I didn't. So is that where you trained at? Was in November?
In Alny, Illinois, with Bud Chapman.
And then you eventually went to USWA, did you?
For a little bit, but
you had like the sick mullet, right?
I did.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, and something I learned that you have not, my big mouth got me thrown out of USWA. So.
What has my big mouth got me?
Oh my God! Let's go over the 100 of stories of how your big mouth has got you in trouble.
Well, fair enough. But fair enough. I didn't know you had a big mouth. I thought that was just a persona.
What you did know, it's not that I have a big mouth, but I voice my opinion.
Yeah.
And some people don't appreciate my opinion.
I voice my opinion and people don't like it. I don't think I have a big mouth.
You voice your opinion loud. I voice my opinion in the same tone I'm talking right now. You get alcohol and next thing you know, you're a different person. That's when I walk away and say, fuck John Clark right there.
I messaged Austin Bradley and he was like, oh, ask Pondo about you growing up in a white neighborhood. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
That was you. That was you who said that.
I know. I said that to you.
John Clark got drunk and wanted to fight me.
No good.
Because he grew up in a white neighborhood. I don't know what he thinks Florida, Illinois is, but it's a pretty white town. I could think we was both in the same boat there.
Yeah. Well, I didn't grow up in a white neighborhood, and I don't know why the fuck I said that, but yeah. Anyways, I didn't want to talk about me. Not yet, anyways. I know it later on. We're going to talk about some stuff I wanted to talk to you about. But anyway, so let's go back to you. So you were in USWA, and from there, where did you go?
Just anybody who said yes, actually. So Wrestle Review magazine used to put all the companies in like 6 or 7 pages. Mm-hmm. So I made 48 videotapes and sent them out to all those places and only got 8 responses. But then only 4 used me. So early on in my career, I was in Nebraska. I was in Tennessee back when it wasn't heard of. Just all these different places. And then I got hooked up with a guy named Del Mann who was doing tours already of Indian reservations. So I was in Wyoming, Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota, and this is 1 or 2 years in, you know, so that's unheard of for professional wrestlers, especially back then without social media. So I went from Delman, and then I started working for Shelby Adcock, and I think the Shelby Adcock is where I met Mike Samples, and that's where the USWA came in. And then Bill Dundee was running shows out of a furniture store in Evansville. I started working for Bill Dundee. Chris Champion in Homewall, Tennessee, and Shelbyville. Can't say Shelbyville. They said Shelbyville, Tennessee. And then got hooked up with that fucking Ian Rotten, and then
I was going to ask you about the Ian Ryan, how that came along, but we don't have to touch up on Ian Ryan. I completely understand.
yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, well, that's fine. No problem. And then from there, is that how you got linked up with the clowns?
Yeah, so me and Ian did a thumbtack death match, and there was 2 other guys on the show, Hector Hatchett and the Sewer Dweller.
Okay.
And I didn't know who ICP was. Ian knew who they was because they put out that Stranglemania videotape, and they used pictures of him and Axel, and didn't ask him or pay him for it. So
They're synonymous for that.
So already he's getting on their bad side. He don't like them, you know. But when he left the room, those 2 guys, 2 white guys with dreadlocks, came over to me and was like, "Man, we loved what you did out there and all this." And you know, of course, I'm like, "All right, cool," you know. And Violent J, which was he was Hector Hatchett. He was telling me, "Hey, man, someday our wrestling company's going to be big, and we want you to be a part of it." Well, this was just 2 white guys with dreadlocks, so you know.
So you were wrestling ICP this whole time?
No. This was they was just on the show.
Oh.
They was just 2 characters on the show, and these 2 guys are telling me, "Yeah, our wrestling company's gonna go big someday, and we want you to come with us." Well, I mean, you hear so much shit in wrestling, you know.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Of course, I said yes and thank you and all that. Well, then they brought me a Super Balls T-shirt and a copy of Tunnel of Love. Shit, I can't remember what it's called. Something of Love. I opened the package, and there's Shaggy with his face photoshopped on this guy with a huge cock. So already I'm like, what's going on here? But then I put in their CD on the way home. It was good shit, man. Like, I really liked it and all that. So then I was walking around the mall in O'Fallon, Missouri, and I see teenagers wearing these guys' T-shirts. And I was like, holy shit, that's those guys that, you know, but I didn't know how to get a hold of them.
Yeah.
So then they had their very first wrestling match called, well, I mean, not their very first wrestling match. They was doing small wrestling matches in their warehouse. But then when they decided to do a big event called Stranglemania Live, they got a hold of Dan Curtis and said, "We want Madman Pondo. Find us Madman Pondo." So
That's pretty...
Stranglemania Live, I can't remember what the year that was. I think 98. And then the next year they had another company called Hellfire, which would be 99, 2000. I did that. And then 2000 for sure was the first JCW tour, and I was a big part of that. Wrestled Mitch Page, who was Fat Fuck Barrel Boy at the time, most of those towns. And so 20 gatherings, I've been to all 20. And not only have I been to all 20, I have actively done something in the ring, so I think that's a pretty big accomplishment.
It's huge.
And I just can't remember, was it December? It was either November or December. I just wrestled in Violent J's house for bringing down the house. It was matches all around his house.
Not actually in his house?
In his house, yeah. I mean, well, I was in the studio.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, the matches were on his property, in his house, and the studio is a separate thing. But I was still part of that. So I'm still doing things with ICP to this day. So that's got to be over 20 years because there's been 20 gatherings, and here I am, man. So.
They love some Pondo.
Well, they tolerate some Pondo. Maybe I fuck up a lot, you know.
You fuck up a lot?
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't imagine you fucking up.
I like to have a good time, and some people don't agree with my good time, you know.
Dude, I love your sense of humor sometimes when it doesn't affect me. Like when it's on everybody else, I'm all for it. And I was actually, my last episode I did with Cash Flow, and we talked a little bit about your ribbing. And, well, no, it wasn't really your ribbing. It was more of your love and passion for the paranormal.
Fuck that.
No.
I'm going to start my own paranormal TV show called Bullshit Hunters.
Dude.
All you got to do is put me in a room. Okay, so someday, if I see something, I will go to everybody and say I was wrong. But as of right now, I ain't seen a goddamn thing. So I don't believe in the ghost shit. Now, the alien shit, the universe is too big and too far out there for there not to be other life forms. Now, I'm not saying that they're walking around like us and going to build spaceships and come and invade us or none of that shit, but there's some kind of living something.
Well, you know. Something, yeah. Organisms. Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. There's something out there, but this ghost shit, fuck that shit. That's horror movie crap.
Well, apparently where we're at is haunted as well, but OVW, where I did my last podcast, is apparently haunted as well, which is whatever. I don't know how true.
What, the Davis Arena?
Yeah.
Eat shit. who the hell is that haunted with? Fucking.
I don't want to say who I suspect got murdered there. Someone died there.
While OVW was in there? Somebody got killed in there?
Probably. I don't know. I've heard stories a while, like back in 2006 and shit, but I don't know how true it was.
Well, see,
I don't remember.
So here in Louisville, there is a famous building, the Waverly Place. It's an old tuberculosis hospital. Me and a whole bunch of friends, Christy Gentry, Kimberly Gentry, Angie Bogarts, a whole bunch of people. We used to go up there and party all the time, and there was never any ghost shit. The only shit you had to worry about was homeless people. All right? So, you know me, I like to fuck around, have a good time. So, now, you got to realize this is before cell phones and all of that shit, so there was no other. So, I'd be the only one with a flashlight. So, I'd hold my arm out. Somebody would hold my arm, hold the next person's arm, hold the next person's arm, and I would take them down the hallways of this Waverly, right?
Right.
I'd get down in the middle and I'd break my arm away from the first person and fucking run down the hallway with the light off where everybody got scared as shit, right? So, I did that like 3 times in a row. The 4th time, I broke my arm off and I ran down the hallway and one of them homeless fuckers left one of them, not a shopping cart, but it's 2 baskets with 2 handles in the middle, right? I hit that fucking thing so hard, it jumped me in the air and my chest hit the floor. Well, my flashlight, of course, rolled to the edge. And everybody I was with was like, oh my God, did you hear that, Pondo? Are you okay? Are you okay? And I lost my breath, right? I hit my chest. So I turned around to tell them to come help me, and I said, and they was all like, oh my God, and everybody started running away from me. I was like, come help me. But I was fucked up. So I never did that shit again.
Oh, man.
And every once in a while, like, homeless would yell down and say, get out of my house. And we're like, no, you're in our house, you know. But no ghosts.
Oh, man. What? I remember you telling me a story about a theater that you went to.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Went to a theater. It was me, WWE, Sarah Logan, Sarah Bridges, Crazy Mary Dobson, and Waffle, a friend of hers named Waffle, and her ex-boyfriend. Well, her boyfriend at the time. And So they're taking us down into the catacombs of this movie theater, and this dude is making this big deal about, now this door right here, this is where old Charlie was, and this is where all the paranormal. Well, I just walk right past him and I open the door. I say, "What? This door?" He's like, "Yeah, this door." Now the good thing was I didn't go prancing my ass in there because the floor was out and I didn't know it. I'd have fucked myself up. So then he's showing us the chimney, and he's like, "Now there's still remains of Charlie in this chimney, and this is where all the activity happens." And I said, "If there's still remains of Charlie in there, isn't that illegal to have like remains in there and shit?" But I'm sticking my head inside that chimney and looking around, you know. So then they all got their damn whatever they are, fucking calculator looking things, and they're all going around. Yeah, they're all going around the room, and I reach down and I grab some rocks, and I'll throw one out at the wall. And they'll all go over there with their fucking meters and be like, "Oh, there's some activity over here." Motherfucker, I just threw a rock. And then the dude, he's got his, and he's like, "Okay, we're gonna try and talk to some of these ghosts." So he's asking questions, and people are asking questions, and he's turning on a certain light where the people's answer it and shit like that. So then I start saying, "Hey, my gay sister only has one leg, and I was wondering if she got to take it up there with her, if they gave her another one when she was up there." So he knew I was fucking with her. He was like, yeah, I'm losing connection with the ghost. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Someday if I see something, I'll tell everybody I was wrong. But for right now,
I want to go with you when this happens. We seriously need to, this fall, if we can go to Bridgewater's again. I like Bridgewater's.
I went there.
Yeah.
I went there with the Pizza King crew. Is that cemetery, right?
Yeah, the cemetery.
Yeah, and they both had, two of them had guns on their sides, because I was like, you know, if there is ghosts, those guns aren't going to work. But they was more worried about coyotes.
Yeah, there's a lot of coyotes out there.
So they both had guns, and we did do a deal where we thought we heard some whispers. I'm the one that found them. But I think it was just somebody with us that whispered some shit. But
you're such a skeptic.
Well, I mean, like I said, if that whisper said, "Yo, Pondo, scoot over," okay, then I'm gonna know. All right, it was somebody. You know, you show me some shit and then I'll believe it. But for right now, fuck that shit.
Well, I was gonna say your favorite tool of communication was a taser. When you went ghost hunting.
Well, no, nobody knew I had the taser. And Jimmy Felcher, he was a big believer in this ghost shit, and he still goes ghost hunting to this day. And there was this area, this little cemetery, right? So the only way you went was through this cemetery, or through me behind, or each side had like these dangerous looking sticks with briars and shit like that. So
they had thorns on them. I'm
thorns,
pretty sure.
yeah, that's what I meant. So Jimmy holds his hands out and says, "All right, I want to know if the ghosts are here, if they can give us a sign." And then I said, "Let me try, Jimmy." And I had that taser out behind me, and I said, "All right, if the ghosts are out there, shock Jimmy right now." And I started shocking Jimmy with that fucking taser. He didn't want to go forward because that's where the graveyard is. He couldn't go left or right because there's floors all over the place.
On both sides.
I had a taser behind him, fucking gouging him with it.
Man, I love that. That night specifically, it sticks out to me. And
you and Charlene was about to piss your pants down on the road away from it.
No, I was right behind you and Mickey Knuckles.
Oh, was you?
Yeah, Charlene was down there on the road.
Oh, okay.
Because she was afraid, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little suspect of what was going on. Because I mean, out in that no man's land, there's other things out there other than us, and I didn't want to get attacked by anything. But I was down for it because. Like I said, your sense of humor, and I know you're always up to something. So I was like, this is going to be comedy. This is going to be gold, so I had to be a part of it, and I'm so grateful for it. Now, you do go to a lot of the haunted houses when they're up and active, aren't you?
Love haunted houses. Yeah, I just went. I only got to do one this. Well, there really wasn't that many open, but I went to the haunted hotel again, and the year before that, I went to the haunted hotel. I went to what's this one near me?
Industrial Nightmare.
Well, no, that's closed. That's
closed again.
That's an apartment now for like disabled people.
Oh, I bet
something
you've been
Manor.
out of it.
Something Manor. Malice Manor.
Malice Manor?
I went to that one, and me, Terry, Tony, and I know you ain't gonna even know these people. Sabrina. We went to one,
I know
and
Tony and Sabrina are.
you know who Tony is?
Yeah,
not too tough.
No, the one that worked at the gas station.
Yes,
And Sabrina.
Tony Casagianabi
Yeah.
and Sabrina Hokum.
Yeah, I know.
And we went to one in Shelbyville. It was so when we pull up, I don't hear no screams, I don't hear nothing, and I'm telling these guys, I'm like, this one's going to be the shits, right? But come to find out, you buy a ticket, and then you got to walk to where the beginning of it is. You got to walk maybe half a mile to get to the beginning of it, and it's in the woods. I can't remember what the name of it was. Terry would be able to tell you right away, but anyway, it didn't have any mainstream characters in it. It was like a circus out there, and there was some escaped circus attraction that would follow you and shit like that. So I like that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you're pretty good at ribbing, and I think that's what my favorite thing about you and your sense of humor. Another thing that sticks out was, I think, was it the Upchurch show, or there was a show here at Diamond, and
I can't remember who was on stage.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't Upchurch. It was
Jelly Roll?
Jelly Roll
Jelly
and
Roll.
Struggle.
Yeah. Because you didn't, I mean, I guess you didn't really meet Brandy at the time.
Nope, didn't even
That
know
was
who
the
Brandy
first
was.
time I think you met
All
her.
I knew was she came over to the door and said, "Did John Clark go outside?" And I said, "Yeah, I think he did." And she said, "Well, that's my boyfriend." And I said, "Oh, well, you can go out there and check on him," because I was running the door for that show. And there was a beer laying there with a bunch of cigarettes in it, and she laid her beer down to go outside, so I just switched bottles. And she came in, and I said, "Was John out there?" She said, "If he was, I didn't see him." And she took a big drink out of that cigarette beer, and which I didn't even know her. Didn't even know her from Adam. All I knew is that she said she was John Clark's girlfriend. I'm like, all right, she'll be cool. So
Oh, yeah.
switched the beers, and she still talks about that to this day.
Oh, she brings it up when I told her, again, like I tell everybody, they're always like, you got to bring up this, you got to bring up that. And well, I remember because I thought it was something I would do. That's why I thought it was funny. It's because that's something I would do. And then I brought up something to you before, and it's like, I said something to you like, I do some of the stuff that you do, but you're like, yeah, but you do it to be an asshole. I do it because it's funny or something like that. Or like, you know better than to do some of the stuff that I do.
Yeah, don't let me be a role model, because I'll fuck your life up.
Oh no, man! How can you not? Like the fact that I got to watch you wrestle in IWA growing up, and then now I'd say I get to, well, like, up until this past year, I get to talk to you on a regular basis. It's kind of cool to me because, like, I always got to. I mean, seeing you and JC Bailey damn near kill each other. Do you need some more drinks?
No.
Okay. Damn near kill each other in IWA and BBW. You never went BBW, did you?
Did I ever go to BBW?
Yeah, were you in BBW?
I'm the reason BBW started.
You were?
Yeah, I gave BBW its name. I was the one. Me and Joe Bailey and Philip Bailey.
Okay.
And Ox Harley. And
I forgot about Ox. Every time I hear Ox, I'm like, I got mine.
I got mine. Yeah, and he didn't get shit.
Or respect me or kiss my ass. That was something he always said.
But we was working for Hub at the time, restoring houses. Mm-hmm. And, of course, I was with Joe every day, so he would ask me about starting a wrestling group, and I'm the one that gave him the Bad to the Bone wrestling name and all that. And for I don't know, 6 months we talked about it, and then on the 7th month he's like, "All right, let's do it." So that's how BBW. The very first BBW show. I don't know if it was the very first, but we was in shit. I can't remember the town, but me and Todd Morton did a scaffold match and sold this building out. I cannot remember the.
Was it Nicholasville?
Nope.
Because you guys frequent Nicholasville, Portland, Salem, Indiana.
No.
Or was BBW just in Kentucky?
No. I mean, BBW was in all them towns, but that's not where me and Todd did that at.
Because I always get blurred between IWA and BBW where I went and seen. Like, I remember BBW in Portland way more than I remember. Because I remember Nicholasville, I remember Shelbyville, not Shelbyville.
Portland, they wouldn't let us come off the balcony. I remember that.
Which sucked because that would have been super dope.
And I was ready to do it. And JC was ready to do it. But.
Yeah, because it wasn't, a VFW, or was that a fire?
I don't even remember what that thing was.
It used to be a post office. That's what it was.
Is that what it was?
It was a post office because it eventually caught fire, 4 or 5 years ago.
Huh.
After you moved out, I thought, how long have you been over in Indiana?
What, over at the arena?
Yeah.
Oh, man. 2011, I think.
Yeah.
So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Well, 10 years now.
Holy shit.
Doesn't seem like it, but.
No, it doesn't. It don't feel like it. Because I remember you, Charlestown, and then you were in.
You know what? That's not right. So 2011, me and Sarah moved in with Seth Woosley, the Gimp from D1W.
Yeah.
And he took pictures off my laptop and sent them to all his friends of Sarah. So I beat him up a little bit, and we had to get out of there. And that's when we moved to the arena. So maybe that was 11, 12, 13. So maybe 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 7 years, maybe.
I had no idea any of that went down.
Yep. It comes out like...
you beat people up?
Well, I did him. I mean, think about that. He...
what he did,
he sent
definitely
pictures to all his friends of my girlfriend at the time. So it's time to beat somebody up,
warranted.
Right? I mean, huh?
So that's very warranted.
Yeah.
Very, very warranted. I didn't have no idea any of that happened. It makes sense though. Why nobody liked him, but anyways, I can't say much. Not a lot of people like me.
Oh, come on.
I mean, the whole fuck John Clark thing. And that's the reason why I created it. It was to take away the power of those people who don't like me.
I hear you.
Or people who get fed up with what I do, because I can be kind of an asshole at times.
Well, I've never seen it.
Yeah, of course you've never. Besides one time, I would say 2 times.
Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good with everybody until they just really fuck me over. And then that's what... So people's all the time like, why do you pick on me? I just want everybody to know, if I don't pick on you, if I don't mess with you, I don't like you. So better let me pick on you, otherwise you'll figure out that I don't like you, you know.
So out of all the stuff that you've done, what would you say was probably your proudest achievement? Wrestling, personal, however you want to look at it.
Well, of course, all 3 daughters being born. I mean, I never looked at myself as a dad, and they still love me to this day. They write me all the time. They all live in Illinois. So being a dad for the short stint to where, you know, maybe their mom and me don't get. I mean, we do get along. We're good friends now. We get along better now than we ever did when we was married. But so there was that. I mean, just things. Okay, so here's the biggest thing that I can think of. So in my hometown, there's only 5,100 people in there,
right.
Flora, Illinois. If you go to Wikipedia and you search Florida, Illinois Wikipedia, and you scroll down to notable people. Third person on that list after you click it is Madman Pondo. So
That's kind of a big deal.
yeah, to me that's a big deal. Like there was a Tammy Harris who used to sing in all these places that people said was going to get famous. There was a Tim Locum who was 7 foot tall who would play basketball that everybody thought would get famous. There was a Rob Stokey who would play guitar that everybody thought was going to. Ain't none of them guys on the list, but my ass is on that list. So
Oh, Kevin Candy. That's pretty dope. That's a pretty big achievement for real.
not too bad.
Unfortunately for me, I live in a huge metropolitan, and that will never be achieved by me.
Well,
Well,
You
I
never
wouldn't say
know.
never, but
hey, serial killers got famous somehow.
I was gonna say, why the? You think I would be a serial
I
killer?
didn't say that. All I'm saying is nobody knew who them serial killers was until they killed a bunch of people. So I'm not saying that you're going to kill people, but you never know what you're going to do. Look at the Tiger King. Who would have thought that motherfucker would be
God.
so popular?
Are you friends with him? I'm sure you're
No.
like a pen pal of his.
Never talked to him. Never talked to him.
What
But
haven't you?
I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan of the homeless dude that
Yeah,
I just took pictures with him. I found him downtown. I had him do a rap for Terry Harper.
when you posted that photo, I was like, the first thing I thought of, it was like you took a picture of a family member of yours, and
He is. That's
he's
what
such a
family-
worker, bro.
He
He's
is.
a
Is he
fucking
not? So that dude's famous to me just because he was on the news for being what he is, you
For
know?
working people.
Me and Terry, we went to Benny Hinn. Do you know who Benny Hinn is?
Yes, and please tell us the story at some point of this.
So, me and Terry was coming home from, I think, Nashville.
Well, you got to set the story because some people may not know
I
who
am.
he is.
I am.
Okay.
Trust me, I am.
Okay.
I'm a good storyteller, John.
You are.
I got you.
I take that back. You
All
are.
right, so we're coming home from Nashville, and in front of the Freedom Hall, they got that big marquee,
Yep.
and it lights up Benny Hinn live, Louisville or wherever, whatever town it was.
Yeah.
My fucking eyes lit up. I'm like, oh my God, Terry, look, and Terry was like, oh, we gotta go, right? So we searched the places and all this. So for the people out there who don't know who Benny Hinn is, if you search his name and see his picture, you'll probably know right away. But this is the guy who knocks people down with the power of the Lord. Okay? So there was one on Saturday. There was one on Thursday. There was two on Friday, two on Saturday, and one on Sunday. So we went to the daytime Friday, 9 a.m. Can you believe I got Terry Harper out of bed at 9 a.m. to go to this thing? So I told Terry, I said, look, I want to make it to the front row because I'm going to get up there and Benny Hinn's going to knock me down for the power of the Lord, and I'm going to do such a good job, that motherfucker's going to take me on the road with him from town to town, right? I was going to take the biggest bump, shake my body all over the place, like the power of the Lord was going to be in me. But, so, woke up Terry at 7 o'clock, and, well, we made it there at 7 o'clock. And at 7 o'clock, there was already people waiting. It was totally free, all right? So there was already people waiting. But, we got to wait inside the building. There was maybe 30 people in front of us, but the line went all the way out the fucking door and all the way into the parking lot. So, of course, we're in the line, and all the other petitioners or whatever you call religious people are all in line, and some lady turns around. Of course, somebody always wants to start a conversation with you. And she was like, have you ever seen Benny before? And I'm like, no. And she says, oh my, Benny knows how to say the word. Like nobody says the word like Benny. And I backed up and I said, word up. which made Terry walk away because he can't take that shit without laughing. So then he came back and somebody behind me was like, when she started a conversation, and she was like, do you have a job? And I said, yeah, I'm a professional wrestler. That's where we do that fake falling, not this real falling. That's where we do that fake falling, right? Terry walks away again. So they open the doors, and I shoot past all 3 of them people because I'm going to get on the front row center so I can make it on stage and take this big bump for Benny Hinn, who's made more money than Hulk Hogan and hadn't even taken a bump himself, if you think about it.
That's a
So
bitch.
I run to the front, and it's already filled. It's already filled all the way around, which tells you already this guy has plants. Okay? So I was disappointed, but I got in the second row. And, of course, like, Benny's saying things, and he's doing all this stuff, and everybody's like, amen. And I said, hell yeah. And everybody turned around and looked at me. I'm like, oh, no, I mean amen. So already the people,
eyes were on you.
the people knew, right? So 2 security guards, not in the front row, but in front of the front row, puts 2 chairs on each side of me and Terry, and they sit down, right? So
Well, we got some troublemakers.
So here's two things, memorable things that I remember. So the first thing I remember is Benny Hinn told everybody, and these people are totally going in for this guy's stick the whole way. And he says, okay, stop giving your money to doctors and to medication. Give it to the harvest of the Lord. Start giving it to us, right? Now, there's some old people walking around with, like, iron lungs and shit like that. You know, them things with things in their nose. And
Oxygen.
he's killing people. If they are believing him and he's telling them, stop giving your money to medication, give it to the harvest of the Lord, meaning him, then what he's trying to do is, hey, before you die, I want your money. Stop giving it to the doctors, which is just totally fucked up to me.
Horseshit.
So then the second thing he said, I want everybody to stand up, hold their wallets, purses, and checkbooks in the air. And I looked at Terry, I said, ain't nobody going to do that. John, me and Terry was the only 2 who didn't do that. People stood up holding their wallets and their checkbooks and all this. So they all got calmed down, and he says, okay, anybody who's going to give $1,000 to the harvest of the Lord, come on up to the podium right now. And I looked at Terry, I said, ain't nobody going to give this guy $1,000. 48 people.
You counted 48.
48 people gave this guy up to $1,000. They might have gave him more, but up to.
Mercy.
All right. So then they all went up to the podium. They sat down, and he said, okay, I know times are tough. Anybody who's willing to give $100 to the harvest of the Lord, come up to the podium. I lost count. How many people was doing that. So already this dude on a Friday morning made over $48,000, all right? Now, he had another show the night before that they showed a video of, sold out, all right?
And this is all at Freedom Hall?
No, some church.
Oh, Evangel.
I don't know. It was pretty far out there. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Then after our 9 o'clock in the morning show, there was another one at 7 o'clock. Then 2 more on Saturday, and then 1 on Sunday. So if you can imagine how much money this dude made in one weekend in Louisville, Kentucky, isn't not a shame that they don't get taxes taken out of their shit.
I agree, they should.
So when we left, Terry said, let's go behind the building and see what these guys drive. 6 brand new Escalades sitting back there.
That's ridiculous.
So, another story I forgot to tell you about that, though. So Terry is a drummer, you know that. Mm-hmm. Terry Harper's a drummer. And the band's playing, and Terry looks at me and says, you notice anything about the band? And I'm looking at him. I said, no. And he says, look at the drummer. So I'm looking at the drummer, and then it hits me. The beats are not what this dude's swinging his hands, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, Terry, he's not even drumming. And Terry's like, yeah, that's a piped in thing. The band's not even playing. So I looked at Terry, I said, look at the guitar player. And the guitar player wasn't even strumming. He was just doing things with his fingers, right? So the band wasn't even real. So after we got done looking at them Escalades, we're leaving. And the guy with the guitar starts leaving the building. I said, Terry, stop and roll the window down. So Terry stops, rolls his windows down. And, and I said, hey, man, that was some good guitar playing in there. And he said, thank you. And I said, where'd you learn to play? And he said, here. And I said, what, today? And Terry rolled the window up and fucking took off because he knew that I was getting ready to ride this.
You're about to roll him. A roast session. Oh my God. I would say you're terrible, but that's not terrible at all. But see, yeah, I would have went above and beyond what you would have went. I would have wrecked that dude.
Well, here's the problem. It took 3 hours to get to the main event.
Yeah.
2 hours and 45 minutes. We had to sit there and listen to this man talk just to see the end. And of course, I'm not used to getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, actually 6 to get there. So at one point, I fell asleep. And when I woke up, John, Benny Hinn standing right in front of me, staring right down at me. As soon as I woke up, there he was, staring at me like...
Oh, I probably would have shit myself. He's what, because wherever the church, I don't know what church it was, but I'm assuming it's probably 10 feet away.
I wouldn't even say 10 feet. A row of people here, and he was right there, right?
Oh, so was the stage risen?
He was off the stage. He was down by the crowd.
Oh, no.
Staring down right at me, sleeping. And Terry gave me a little nudge, and when I woke up, there's Benny Hinn staring right at me, right there.
He must have been talking about you. This disrespectful. He's over here disrespecting God.
Who cares?
I don't.
The guy's disrespecting the world, man.
I agree. He's working the world, and these evangelists, televangelists, whatever you want to call them, works the fuck out of people. And the fact that, like you said, the fact that these people are giving their hard-earned money.
Their life savings to this guy.
And they're walking around, and he's like, don't go to the doctor. It's like...
Yeah, he's got private jets and Escalades and...
That's the one thing I don't agree with between church and state is like... Because that's the whole religion, politics shit, is they're supposed to be tax-free. But I feel that as much money as they bring in, they should be like any other business and taxed for it.
Well, he's been investigated a couple of times, and somehow it always comes out in his favor. So
that's ridiculous, man. So nothing funny happened. Like so you didn't. I guess I'm assuming you didn't get to go up on
as
stage.
Soon as he said, "Okay, everybody who has a problem," I could turn my leg all the way around, right?
No.
Yeah, I could turn my leg all the way around.
I have to see this. Let me see.
All right. Well,
you can move that out of the way. Yeah. I have to see. Oh my God! What the fuck?
So that was going to be my deal, man. I was going to go up there and tell him my leg's been backwards all my life. And he was going to touch my face. I was going to take the big bump, turn that leg around and walk around. He would have took me on the road with the John Clark. I would have been making some of that money.
You've got to get in contact to figure out how you can work for Benny Hinn.
Nah, I don't want to work for that guy, man. He's killing people. He's murdering
Yeah, I guess
old
you
people.
don't want to work for him. Okay, maybe not.
Actually, this weekend, Brett Lauderdale, the owner of GCW, contacted me because a guy that he works with was security for Benny Hinn, so I can't wait to match our stories up and tell him what I knew.
He was a security, or did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, that I can't wait to hear this. We'll have
Yeah,
to do a
next
recap.
show I'll have some more stories for you.
Yeah,
for
we'll have
putting
to.
in, man.
That's crazy. Let's see how much time we got left on this. Keep talking. Oh no, we're good. We got enough time. So during this pandemic, you haven't been able to wrestle a lot at all, have you?
Oh yeah, I haven't stopped wrestling.
Really?
I don't want to say all the places because every time I do, everybody's like attacking them and saying you're not wearing masks and all that. But that's not the truth. Like everybody's social distance at the matches I go, and masks are worn and all that. So it just, people just can't leave shit alone. But
so they're still having fans at shows?
yeah, since the pandemic, I have delivered pizzas. I have door-dashed.
Yeah.
I've wrestled. I went to what all did I go to? I went to a demolition derby. And the demolition derby I went to was a bunch of rednecks. They didn't give a fuck
Not
about
one
no
mask.
mask. They didn't give a shit
No
about
social
no mask.
distancing, not a fucking thing. Which I'm for. Not that I want to touch upon this again, but like it's to each their own. Live your life. If you're afraid and you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you're not, don't worry about it, and don't bitch at people for not wearing a mask if they don't want to.
But I have been going to a lot of movies. There for a while, they didn't have any new movies, so I went and watched a bunch of old classics like.
So they had movie theaters open?
Enter the Dragon and Breakfast Club, But I went and watched Wonder Woman.
84. How was that?
I mean,
Because you're a movie buff.
yeah, I am. You know this. That's
yeah.
why I haven't stopped going to movies. And then The Fat Man Around Christmas, where Mel Gibson was Santa Claus.
I was going to ask you about that.
Not too bad. It's more story than it is action, but not too bad. But the big one,
Yeah.
the big one that I'm waiting on, like everybody says, are you waiting on Candyman? Are you waiting on Michael Myers' new one? No.
Because everybody knows you're a horror.
I know, but also, I'm a big Godzilla fan, and Godzilla vs. King Kong is on its way, March 26th.
That looks
I
like
cannot
it's going to be
wait.
sick. Well, they said, I was seeing something yesterday or maybe this morning, how Kong from the Kong movie compared to Kong in Kong versus Godzilla.
See, everybody says that shit. It's a fucking movie.
Well, I'm
Let
saying
the
he's
shit
grown
go,
so
man.
much bigger.
I mean, let King Kong and Godzilla fight, but here's the thing. In
Well,
Skull
it wasn't
Island,
nothing negative. I'm just saying,
in Skull Island, he was still a teenager.
Oh, so it's the storyline. He's grown up from
He's
Skull
grown
Island.
up, and he's a big-ass King
monster-ass
Kong,
fucking
and
Kong.
him and Godzilla. So everybody keeps asking me, who do I got, Godzilla or King Kong?
Well, that was what I was going to ask.
I figured you would, so
Yes,
I'll beat
sir.
you to it. Here's what I got. I think it's going to be a draw.
Are you only basing this off of previous movies?
I am basing it off of it is too big to only have one movie.
Winner? Okay.
So I feel two different scenarios. One, it's going to be a draw, and then it'll be settled in the sequel.
Okay.
Or if you really pay attention to the trailer, there is a reference to Mechagodzilla in the trailer, and King Kong is swiping at something with some wings with a big old axe, and I do believe there's a Rodan in the mix of all of it. So my thinking is it's either going to be that draw or a bigger monster, not a bigger monster, but another monster is going to fight Godzilla, kick his ass, fight King Kong, kick his ass, and then they're going to join together
And kicks that monster.
to kick that monster's ass. Now I could be totally wrong, but you heard it here first on this podcast, just in case I'm right.
Well, I want to feed into that because I don't remember if it was a Kong movie, if it was a Godzilla, or if it was Skull Island, or if it was a Godzilla movie. But didn't at one of those movies they were showing how there were other gods?
Yes,
or
that
things
was That was Godzilla, the first one.
Yeah.
With the Breaking Bad guy.
Yeah.
The cutscene was that they showed.
So that could be your thesis.
Well,
that could feed into your thesis.
But that's what the second Godzilla movie was. That's why he wrestled King Ghidorah and had all the other monsters with him.
Okay.
So at the end of the King Ghidorah one is when they told us there was going to be a King Kong versus Godzilla. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, damn. That defeats what I thought was going to happen.
Well, maybe I'm totally wrong, but like I just said, if I'm right.
Well, you said there was going to be a Ghidorah, right? You said there.
Ghidorah's already happened.
But then what were you saying between the bigger monster that you said in the trailer for?
In the trailer, if you really watch the trailer,
yeah,
King Kong swings this weapon at something with wings.
Okay.
I don't know what that was, and then there is I think Rodan.
Rodan. Okay, that's what it was. Rodan.
And then there's also a Mechagodzilla references on the computers. You can see where it says Mechagodzilla.
I'll have to look into it and digest.
So one of those three might have something to do with something, and who knows?
When you watch movies, you look out for the Easter eggs all the time. You
love watching, and if I can't find the Easter eggs, I'll go to Facebook or web pages and read where they are, and then I'll go watch them just because I love that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people didn't know that all the Pirates of the Caribbean has a cutscene at the end of them.
I also don't watch Pirates of the Caribbean, so.
I'm a big Pirates of the Caribbean fan, and it took me 3 movies for me to figure out that there was a cutscene at the end of all 5 of them. So I went back and watched all 5 of those. I like those cutscenes. I like The Mandalorian. You watch The Mandalorian?
I watched a little bit of it. I have ADD so bad that I don't pay attention to a lot of shit.
Well, if you get to the end of the final episode on season 2, there's a cutscene that shows what season 3 is going to be about. Can't wait for it. Yeah. Of course, I was a Star Wars fan going to Star Wars
back in the 70s.
The very first one, 77. Mm-hmm. So hell yeah, I'm all about some Star Wars. So I was glad The Mandalorian came out.
I'm gonna have to get. So last night I was dropping my son off to his mother's, and they were watching this bad lip reading of Star Wars, but it was also a song. I'll have to send it to you.
The Seagull song?
I think it's what it's
Yoda
called.
singing it?
Yeah, Yoda and Luke.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So you've seen that shit is ridiculous. I'm like, what in the hell? And my 5-year-old son's singing to it, and I'm like, I don't even know where you came from, kid.
Oh yeah, congratulations on the new one as well.
Oh yeah, she's wonderful.
Yeah.
I call her my little Asian Buddha because she's got short hair, and she looks Asian like her father. So, she looks. I love her. She's awesome, and you can already tell that she's a daddy's girl. But I appreciate it, and my condolences to you for your granddaughter. I didn't really want to.
It's pretty rough there for a while. Pretty rough patch, but things get easier as time goes on. You know.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it up before we went to this. Before we did on the podcast. Like I didn't really want to bring it up on the podcast, but anyways, let's change the mood. Favorite places while on the road, because I think I already know the answer to this, because it's my favorite place too, and every time I go there, I send you a picture, and you do the exact same. Now, is Sheetz one of your favorite places?
Sheetz is my favorite.
The favorite, yeah.
And second is the Cookout. Have you ate at the Cookout?
I love the Cookout.
Is it not a wrestler's best friend?
It is.
You get like a tray of food for $5 and something. Shit.
I took, when we were in Lexington for, I think, Fire from a God show or something, I don't remember. I took Brandy to Cookout, and she goes, I ain't trying to eat this cheap food.
That's
and then
the
I was
thing,
like,
man. It's not, though. It tastes like
ate
good food, yeah.
When she ate it, she changed. She goes, oh, my God, this place is the best. I was like, Listen to me.
All right.
I was like, if I tell you it's good, it's probably good.
People always. Have you ever been to a Wawa before?
I've been to Wawa in Maryland, and Sheets all the way.
Yeah, Sheets.
Yeah, Sheets all the way.
Everybody tries to argue with me. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people say
people.
Wawa over Sheets.
Nah,
Sheets
they fucking
way
shit.
better. Such a much better variety and good tasting food. Wawa's got like sandwiches, meatball subs, and shit like that. But Sheets kicks Wawa's ass.
And they have good tater tots. That's what sold it for me is tater tots.
Fried macaroni bites.
I haven't had that. I guess I will have to invest in some. I guess I'm going to have to go to Ashland, Kentucky just to go. Or no, it's not Ashland. It's right on the other side of West 64 in West Virginia, isn't it?
Huntington.
Huntington. That's the nearest.
I'm actually taking Akira, Charlie Cruel, Duke the Nuke, and Ref Lucy there. Probably, well, so I'm going to West Virginia Sunday, and have you heard of the Squared Circle Burger yet?
Did you post something about it?
Yeah, it's a wrestling themed restaurant.
Okay.
They want me to come there at 11 o'clock, and there's going to be 2 fourth-pound patties with French fries in the middle.
Mercy.
And that's going to be called the Madman Burger.
Okay.
So then you can get the Madman Burger, or order of fries, and a large Coke. It's going to be the Madman Pondo combo. So how many wrestlers out there have food named after them?
Man, you just keep chalking up that shit.
Dude, I got another book to write.
Speaking of which, how this past one you wrote, very successful, you would say?
You know what? So, John Cosper, hell of a guy. Such a nice guy. He wrote Bluegrass Brawlers.
Okay.
And asked me for a quote. So I had maybe a paragraph or two in that. But people kept reading that and saying, hey, man, if you want to write a cool book, you need to ask my man Pondo if he'll let you write a book about him. So John Cosper kept asking me, but you know me, I don't think anybody ever wants to hear what I got to say and shit like that. So I kept saying, nah, because all I can see is my book winding up on the Dollar Tree and that fucking...
that spindle for 75 cents or that
yeah, 50 cents off of the Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
So I kept saying no. Well, finally I was like, you know what? I got a bunch of shit I want to say, and it was Terry who more or less said, I don't know why you keep saying no. Just put the stories out there. So I went ahead and told John Cosper yes. But when I told him yes, was about the time he was also working on Dr. D. David Schultz's book as well. So my book took longer to write because he was writing Dr. D's, come home, then me and him would go to Denny's, and just like I'm doing with you, I would talk, he would record them, he'd go home, he'd write the stories. So my book took maybe a year and a half to get done, and when it did, I was shocked. We have sold, every time we get a box of those books, we sell out of those books. And I can't even tell you how many boxes of those books that we've had. And people to this day are still writing me and saying, hey, how do I get one of those books? Which, I'll go ahead and tell you right now, it's called Memoirs of a Madman. And you can find that on Amazon.com. Or you can go to eatsleepwrestle.com and ask John Cosper about an autographed copy.
Hell yeah. I was going to say you could leave the shameless plugs towards the end, but hey, plug away, man.
Well, shameless, but
it wasn't that shameless.
We said something about the book, so I thought, what the hell?
No, it's not a shameless. You should definitely promote that. And that's cool that you got, and so you're thinking about doing a number 2?
Not thinking about it. John Cosper just said, hey, let's do a part 2.
Hell yeah, that's
so
awesome.
Now the burger, the Madman Burger, the
Guinness Book of Records,
the Guinness Book of World Records with the 24-hour show. I'm doing more shit so I can get more content for the book. Which back in the day, he told me don't tell every story you know because we'll probably do a part 2 if this one works out. So there's some past stuff that I didn't talk about, but most of it I did talk about because I wanted the book to be funny.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, so.
At least enough for someone to want to come back in here.
Right. And the foreword was by Vanilla Ice.
The foreword?
Yeah, that's the opening story. It's like
Okay.
to present the book. Vanilla Ice did it. So I think Violent J is doing the foreword in the second book.
I want to say that I was with you, and you asked Jericho.
Yes.
And was it when they were at Trixie's?
Yeah.
You were he knew exactly who you were.
Well, okay, so
I heard of who you were.
they did so ICP did a episode of This is Jericho, the podcast.
Yeah.
And this is what I asked him about, because he was asking, Jericho asked ICP who's all on the JCW roster. And they was going through the names, and finally they said, and Pondo, and Jericho said, Madman Pondo, yeah. Now, they didn't say Madman Pondo. They said Pondo. Jericho said Madman Pondo, and I was like, holy shit, how does this guy know who the fuck I am? So, at Trixie's for Fozzie, Terry hooked me up with my own private little meeting, and I asked him how he knew me, and he was like, just the name. I just have heard the name a lot, which not the answer that I wanted, but it's the answer that I took. But he told me, go ahead and put in your book that you're my favorite deathmatch worker of all time.
Yeah, I remember you came out and said that, and I was like, well, that's pretty sick.
But he knows Mick Foley way better than he does me. So in the book, I do say that Jericho's told everybody to tell them that I was his favorite deathmatch worker. But then I go ahead and bust it out and say, but I think he was just being nice, so. But
maybe he likes you more than Mick.
Well, I don't know. Maybe
you and Mick Foley need to have a one-off, and the winner is Jericho's favorite deathmatch
there you
wrestler.
Go. I would do that.
That settles the score.
I would do that.
That'll settle it. And so, can this officially be a challenge to Mick Foley?
Yeah.
For deathmatch?
Let's have a pizza eating contest. Mick doesn't wrestle anymore.
That's fine. He don't have to wrestle.
He's probably way smarter than me. He
could pull the NWO and pull Hogan and lay down and
there you go.
1, 2, 3.
That's right.
And he lay on some thumbtacks just to make it a little hardcore.
A little bit, yeah.
I remember the one and only time you and I ever wrestled. Night for Billy.
Yeah. Madison,
Indiana. I was so excited because I was like wanting to do something hardcore with you and getting bloody because growing up watching you, I figured that's what we were gonna get. And the guy was like, "Yeah, I don't want no blood." So I was upset, and I figured you were gonna be upset when I told you that, and you were like, "Yeah, no, that's completely fine."
Yeah, exactly, man. I don't want to have to clean my face off every time I leave a building, so.
I was still dumb not dumb. I was still ignorant to the fact that, not always did you do something like that after, IWA and stuff. Because I've seen you wrestle and you not always be bleeding or anything. But I remember telling you that it wasn't going to be a hardcore match, and you were like, okay.
Yeah.
It's easier night for me. It's an easy payday. And I was like, well, that fucking sucks.
Why? I wasn't trying to disappoint you. I'm just saying that.
Well, no, it wasn't fair enough. It wasn't about disappointing me. I was looking forward to getting. I mean, I got the payday by getting hit with the stop sign, and you busted my balls with the center block.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm still recovering today.
I got one out in the trunk right now.
I should have told you to buy 2. That way we could have recorded the. We could have went outside and recorded the audio for it. Oh, my bad. But yeah, so we could have recorded the audio for it and made something for a clip scene.
Well, that'll be something for show number 2. How's that?
That's fine. We can definitely do it next time around. Anyways, is there anything you would like to plug?
We plugged the book already. Let's see. I'm on that 24-hour show.
24-hour show.
March 20th, I'm doing a little deathmatch tournament for Total Chaos Wrestling. February something. Look it up. I'm in Anna, Illinois. I'm wrestling Bull Bronson in barbed wire boards.
Jesus.
AWR Me and I can't remember this guy's name are doing a death match. It's Chewy Martinez's student in Indianapolis. I think that's February 28th. I think it's a Friday. Shit, I don't remember. I'm terrible about remembering things. I've had my brains beat out so many.
I mean, that's why you keep a Google Calendar with you.
Fuck
That's
that.
what I was. You don't even put it down on that?
Nah, I'm so terrible about it, man.
You are terrible at technology, period. I mean, you're not everybody should be on tech, like on.
I know how to do Facebook and Hotmail.
Hotmail? And that's how people can book you, right? How do people book you?
Facebook. My real name's Kevin Kennedy, Canady. A lot of the messages of people trying to book me, I'm not friends with, so I don't see the messages. You know what I'm talking about? They go into a different file or some shit like that.
Like a message request or some shit?
Yes. So if you know somebody who knows me, would be way easier to ask me, because I just got booked in South Carolina, but the dude wrote me like 2 weeks ago. But accidentally, I went to that. Somebody else wrote me in that file, and I saw it, and I went, and then I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't even know this." So
yeah, so
yeah, I'm
that's
terrible
how you
at
do
technology, man.
If you're wanting to book Pondo, if you know somebody that knows Pondo, that is the easiest way to book him. Thank you for being on this show.
No problem, man.
It was a pleasure, and there will be a round two. There has to be, because we got to tell more stories. We got to talk about what got you into deathmatch wrestling.
By then, King Kong or Godzilla will be the winner,
And
or
yes,
not, or a draw.
I don't think it'll be a draw.
No,
No, I think Congo. I mean, not Congo. Kong. I think Kong has this one. Something.
You think Kong's got it?
Yeah, I just do something about it.
What's the name of the movie?
What, the new movie?
Yeah.
Godzilla. Oh, after
Oh,
Godzilla.
there you go. What's the first name in that movie? Godzilla versus King Kong. You know.
Yeah, but see, I go for the underdog. So.
Hey, before we go.
Yeah.
So King Kong versus Godzilla. I always heard a rumor that King Kong won in America and Godzilla won in Japan.
Yeah.
So while I had a Japanese wife, you met her right before. Well, one time the in-laws took me to a video store, and I rented King Kong versus Godzilla just so I could fast forward to the end to see if that was true. And here's the only difference.
We're in Japanese.
At the end, it was all in Japanese, but at the end of the one in America, of course, King Kong is swimming away, right?
Yeah.
And you hear King Kong roar.
Okay.
At the end of the Japanese one, it's still King Kong swimming away, but the roar is Godzilla's roar. So there you go with that.
So in America, Kong wins. In Japan,
it's not that Godzilla won, but he didn't lose either, because he was still,
still.
They had him roar at the end.
Still, so. It like
that was
still
the big difference.
Not over. Okay. Well, we will talk about this in, I'd say, a year from now.
I'm with you, man. You tell me when to.
We could do. Yeah, we'll do it in a little. We'll do a recap. That's what we'll do.
There you go.
We'll do a recap, because these are things that people are going to want to know, and if you were right or if you were wrong.
Maybe we'll set it up at your ex-girlfriend Charlene McAnally's house.
That's not my ex-girlfriend. Jesus Christ! I don't know where you come up with this shit. I give up with you. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this episode of Cracking Claws. I will see you down the road.